Welcome back to another Grand Cross Age of Titans video. As promised, today's video is going to be all about the unique heroes. So in today's video we ended up testing Krishna, and just let me tell you that she was a lot better than I really ever would have thought that she would have been. So I really didn't do a lot with her in particular. I had Gabe and Phoenix throw her out there. They do have her expertise, and so we tested a bunch of different commanders, and I threw a bunch of different marches at them, which I have favorited here. So we're gonna go ahead and go through this. We kind of did a like a free-to-play marches, medium spend, and then full spend. I will go ahead and go into the chat that I have with Gabe right now, because she did send me what her Krishna setup was. And then Phoenix's was pretty similar, but he did do the full thing. I believe he went health and defense and attack on this tree on the combine as well. So currently for her, I have her set up in this manner. And then if you want to go ahead and kind of take a peek at this. So I did not actually test this just because mine's not level 60. I wanted to get the most and let's go ahead and get into this. So first we have Phoenix's. So he tested Krishna and Clope against my arena and Sekhmet. So I did a lot of stronger marches against Phoenix and then kind of a mixture against Gabe. So I ended up winning. It was just under 12,000 to 66,000, and I had 125,000 survivors. So a lot of this video, I want you to take a peek at the survivors, because it gets pretty freaking crazy at one point in the video. So let's just move on. Then I had Gabe use a Krishna and Destina. This is a very easy free-to-play march to get, along with Jeanette and Destina. So even though I beat Gabe almost 2-1, I only had 50,000 left. That is pretty crazy, especially if we're out in the open field and you fight someone who's maybe around the same power as you and kind of same marches. Just having this march out there was absolutely incredible, and it really took down Jeanette, who's a really hard hitter. Let alone Jeanette is with Destina, but still. Next, Phoenix used a Krishna and Aaron against my Rena and Sekhmet. He only took out probably right around 70,000 of my troops here, as you can tell. So definitely would not use this march. Phoenix is going to test a whole bunch of different ones against a superpower, as I stated before. Next, I used Claudia and Arthur against Krishna and Destina. I know I should have mixed these two up and put Arthur and Claudia. It was late when we were testing these, so I completely lost. I got demolished, and as you could tell, Gabe barely lost anything. So as you know, the Krishna Destina does give you healing, and she also puts up a barrier for X amount of time, depending on the skill. We will go over that in a little bit. Next, I sent the same thing, but reversed, and she still had 167,000 troops remaining, which really was only 2,000 difference against that. My Arthur and Claudia are pretty much 5541, I believe is what this was. Yeah, 554 and then 5541. So I had a lot more defense and health, where she had 10 extra percent on attack, and she was using the infantry here. Next, we had Phoenix throw out a Krishna and Urdel against my arena and Sekhmet. It actually did pretty good. I still had a third of my march left. Urdel is not a free-to-play friendly commander to get. As you guys know, he or she can only come through the VIP levels. So as you can tell, I'm almost at VIP 15, so that's when I will be able to max her out. So if we move on here, I just have to find wherever Phoenix was using there. I had Gabe use the Krishna Destina again against a Biam and Agnes, and I only managed to kill right around 80,000 of her troops. So that absolutely got wrecked again. Phoenix had a Krishna and Bella, which is another very nice march that we found out later in the video, especially against someone who's not completely, spending super hard in the game. But my Rina and Sekhmet just still wiped the floor with him, but he still took out 2/3 of my army, especially with Arena Sekhmet. That is pretty crazy. Next, we're going to move on, and I threw out a Galahad and Bella. This is a cavalry march here, as you can tell. These two heroes, I really do like the combination. I would prefer Bella as a primary to Galahad, but I'm just trying to throw out every single combination, or as many as we can think of, while we are testing for you guys. Yeah, I absolutely got demolished. And then, once again, we went ahead and switched it, so I had Bella and then Galahad, where this one worked, I'm not going to say a lot better, but decently better. But she still pretty much wiped the floor with my march. Next, Phoenix threw out a Krishna Biam against a Rina Sekhmet again. Still took out over 100,000 of my troops, which was very nice. But not totally free-to-play friendly if you invest in the beginning as kind of like a medium spender and you're working on BM. I definitely would not put him behind Krishna. As we know, BM is a rally-focused commander. Next, Gabe had a Krishna Destina against a Bella Agnes. This march did a lot better as well, especially if you're someone who's, either not completely free-to-play, well, I guess even free-to-play, depending on how you play your account. This is a totally possible kind of setup here. You might get a little bit more damage done against this march, especially if you awaken Bella, but still did pretty decently. But the Krishna Destina is just way too powerful. Moving on, the next march here, we had Phoenix do the Krishna and Valkyrie against Rina and Sekhmet again. Still took out 100,000 troops total, and I only had 80,000 left. Not as powerful as what Gabe has been throwing at me, but still a decent march, especially against a Rina Sekhmet, which we know Rina is the top Calv commander in the game currently. Next, we had Krishna Numa. I don't even want to talk about this march, even though the Numa is 5531. Numa, for whatever reason, is partially built for rallying, so I don't really understand. But we just want to test it out, just try it to see, and it did not go very well. Next march, once again, I had a Bella Numa against Krishna and Destina. This time I ended up taking out about 120,000 of their troops, and it still did not even go my way. But still, Bella Numa did perform a little bit better than I thought. Next, I did just Mellaby and Jing, just because. Why not? Archer March, one-on-one, it's really hard to judge just because they will be attacking each other, and it just got absolutely crushed. Next, we tried a Rina Sekhmet against a Krishna Agnes against Phoenix. It didn't do horrible. It took out 110,000 of my troops, especially if you're a lower spend or a complete free-to-play. This is not a bad march to bring out into the field where you have a awakened unique and then a half-worked legendary commander. That is totally okay. I don't know if the reversal of this is going to work, as we didn't really test a whole bunch of them. Even when we're testing the T1 to heal, it's super expensive. It's like 10 million wood per tier 1, and I don't know if you saw all the resources at the beginning, but I did work a lot in my city. Next, I do not know what happened. Oh, I do know what happened here. Okay, so I threw out a Jeanette and Destina against Krishna Destina as a tanking march in the front, where I only used 50,000 troops. And then I had Mellaby and Jang in the back, and this worked out really well. So, especially once you're having troops out in the front, the archers are really just going to be able to attack without really any repercussions at all. Next, we did Krishna and Helena against Rina and Sekhmet again. Barely did any damage. Definitely would not recommend using Helena at all as a secondary. And then Gabe and I just had a lot of fun, so I will explain that one in just a second. So we did Krishna and Natalie. I don't know. Phoenix was just having fun at this point. He always has a lot of fun whenever we do these types of things. But as you know, she is a complete just farming march. So I don't know why he did this, but you know what? If he had fun, he had fun. It still did some damage. It still took out, 70,000 of my march, which is still pretty funny. But it was still a lot of fun. So Gabe and I ended up doing a 5 versus kind of like a 5v5, just a fight scenario. I threw out the best marches I could, and so did she. Krishna and Estina actually did pretty well in this scenario. Even though Gabe did end up losing, I will throw all of the reports on the screen as I go through them. Bella and Numa, Jeanette and Estina against Krishna and Estina. This one traded negative, as I would expect. The Rina Agnes did very well against this march, as we would expect again. But still, it took a lot of troops in order to beat. And then I had Agnes and Bella as more of a possible free-to-play march. And then Krishna and Destina just absolutely demolished it. So we had a Jeanette Arthur, and then we had a Jeanette Arthur again against Krishna and Destina. And then there's a few other marches in here, just trying to stimulate as much of a overall fight as I could. I will just slowly go through these marches here just to show you. Melody and Jang, since they were in the back, traded positive against the Krishna Destina. Isaac Agnes completely just ended up smacking that march, as one would expect. Same with Belly and Melody. And then more or less the same reports throughout the rest of it. And then if we go into the private chat real quick, I had... Ooh, what is going on? I thought I had more in here. Huh, apparently not. I swear I had more stuff that was supposed to be in there. Apparently, if you delete the reports, that gets deleted too. So if we're actually looking at Krishna, I would definitely recommend her as someone that pretty much everyone should work on. I know I'm definitely going to be throwing her into my march, specifically with Destina as a secondary. Just their kits combined are totally overpowered. So if I throw out her on infantry, let's throw her primary like I wanted to. So Krishna, and then we're going to throw out Destina. Just going to throw out that march there, and so sorry about the sound. I'm going to take care of that right now. So we're just going to go ahead and watch this march in action, and we're just going to take a look and see some of her skills pop as soon as that does. As soon as it wants to. It's very close. So she does have that kind of immunity for X amount of time. I believe it can go up to 5 seconds. Let me take a peek here. Yep, so she gains a berry here for 3 seconds, and that is just absolutely incredible. It really does a lot of not damage to the other marches, but it really just allows her to keep that there, and then she's also able to increase her troop count wherever it is. I don't know where it went. There we go. So especially pairing her with Destina, she's able to heal 10% and deal 25% of counterattack damage, but she's not in command, so that is the passive portion anyway. So Krishna is very, very good for someone who's just starting out. I would definitely just keep her with Destina. I would work these two here. That would make a very nice March. Um, Talent tree, I would definitely kind of go with what Gabe did. As you can tell, a lot of her marches really just completely smacked me. Um, I don't know if these would benefit you any more than you know what Gabe did, but since Gabe was able to take on a lot of my rallies in the early game, um, I don't see any point to switching anything of the sorts. So just like that, so 149,000 just completely took on the Chaos Warrior or the Orc Warrior without any problems. And as if you've played this game, you know that the level 22, the level 25s are just absolutely crazy strong. Hopefully, with the update, which that video I did release yesterday, you'll be able to see that. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like I stated before, I would definitely recommend Krishna with Destina. That is probably your best bet for the purple until we continue on with these tests, and maybe I will have a different opinion. As always, put your opinions down in the comment section below. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy these types of videos. I will continue making more, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Peace.